Why on earth would anyone start a space company without billions, without rockets, or even a plan B? For me, the answer to this question goes back to a single night where I was 6 years old and saw the Milky Way for the first time. And that feeling never left me. And Stellaris is my way of sharing it with the world. Hi, my name is Michael. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I take you along what it is like to build a space company from scratch without being from academia or the space sector. If you know what it takes to build something like that, you've come to the right place. And on today's episode of Building Stellaris, I want to tell you why I started this endeavor. So let's buckle up and get right into the video. So let's talk about the origin story. What you need to know about Stellaris is that it didn't start as a business plan. In fact, I don't even have an up-to-date business plan right now. It started more of a feeling. You know, when I was 6 years old, I was on my first family vacation on the island of Crete in the Mediterranean. And on the first night, after our amazing meal, we went down to the beach. I looked up and saw the Milky Way for the first time in my life, and it spanned across the sky. And from this moment on, I knew there was more out there. And after that experience, I wanted to tell it basically everyone. So fast forward a few years to the beginning of 2020, I just turned 30, and this was the first time I wrote the business idea of Stellaris on paper. And funny enough, right behind the camera, there's still this journal with the journal entry from the beginning of 2020. And back then I knew if I didn't put it on paper, I would never make the first move. So I was still in the military, and from time to time I just flipped through the pages and saw this amazing idea I had in my mind and the vision behind it, but I couldn't start. That was until a few years later when I had to medically retire from the military. And to be honest, that was tough. I was very lost. I tried working in insurance, but I realized very quickly that that's not for me. To be more specific, after a team call, I just sat at my kitchen table for hours and just stared into nothing. Until I got out a piece of paper and a pencil, and I just made an old school pro and con list. And I sat on this list for the next hours until it got dark. And the one thing I told myself after finishing this list was, enough. From now on, I will follow my heart. And how the grand scheme of the universe sometimes plays out, on this very day, I applied for my very first course in the space sector. And it was supposed to be just about personal branding and how you position yourself in the space sector. But for me, it was much more. It was proof that my vision isn't just a scribble in the notebook. It was real. People wanted it. And there was no one out there that could bring it to life besides me. And for the first time in many years, I felt fulfilled. I didn't even make any money back then. I didn't even know when or how to start Stellaris, but I got up in the morning and I was like, man, for the first time in years, I can't wait for the day to start. You know, I've always been a heart-driven person, driven by vision and creativity. And in my life, there have been many moments where I was like, okay, this feels right. This is my path. And Stellaris is one of these moments, except it's much bigger. It is my life's work. So now that you know where I come from, I want to tell you what were the first steps exactly. Because as I said, I'm a heart-driven person, and that oftentimes results in very spontaneous decisions. Or let's call it decisions by gut feeling and intuition. So instead of walking slowly into it, I just cannonballed into the deep end. And to be completely transparent, the first days of Stellaris were completely chaotic, overwhelming, and I was all over the place. And honestly, most days are still like that. So you could say I'm still in full startup mode because it has been just a couple of months. Still fighting German bureaucracy, battling my budget, just trying to stay afloat and survive the next month, and working basically every single day with just the vision and trying not to sink. But here's the truth, there is no plan B. That's it. Stellaris is me and I'm Stellaris. And if you're watching this and made it this far into the video, you're already part of this journey. Because every view, every comment, like, share, personal message, everything that I get back is a proof that I'm not alone in this. Why I started out as a dream of myself, Stellaris isn't just about me. It's about us. It's about space exploration. It's about building something that's so much bigger than just one person with a dream. Maybe it started out like that, but in the last couple of months, the feedback from people and people I work to this day with just shows me that our mission and our vision is something that excites people, is something that people are missing in their life, is something that sparks something in you and in every other person of this community and movement. So you might watching this and say, okay, that's cool, but I'm new here, I don't know what Stellaris is about. So let's get quickly into that. At Stellaris, we create space-inspired experiences right here on Earth. So we create expeditions and missions that blend everything space is about. We blend science, we blend adventure, we blend storytelling, and the most important part, we want to build a new community. So when it comes to these expeditions, there are many more expeditions to come. For now, we have an upcoming expedition in Finland a couple of days. We're working on something at the Atacama Desert in Chile. We also have partnerships with companies who can send people to the South Pole to experience the edge of space. By the way, a big chunk of the customers are former astronauts or future astronauts. So every place that you can imagine on this planet that brings people closer to space. And also we have our missions where you can have like hands-on space experience. So step by step, adventure by adventure, we are building a gateway to the stars, and we are building a cultural shift to make space part of everyday life. So what's the bigger picture? Now it gets really personal. So my personal vision for Stellaris is more than being a travel company. Like I said, I want Stellaris to be a cultural movement. And I want Stellaris to play a meaningful role in humanity's next great age of exploration. And to be truly visionary here, I don't imagine Stellaris logo that you can see on my shirt just to be on merch or flyers or even like mission patches. I imagine seeing the Stellaris logo on spaceports, hotels, rockets, planes, everything that you can imagine that excites people and brings them over the edge to space. Even as visionary as it sounds, on future space hotels, private space stations, everything you can imagine. Because I want to leave a mark with Stellaris for future generations that tells them, we were here, we built this, and the next step is up to you. Because becoming a spacefaring civilization, as fancy, visionary and cool as it sounds, it's so much more than just loading a rocket with people, yank them up to space, and just see how it goes. Because if we want to truly be a spacefaring civilization, we also need to change our hearts and minds so space becomes something that's just so much part of everyday life that we can't imagine living without it. To come to a point where we as a species remember that exploration is part of our DNA. And that humanity is at its best when we are united under the same sky, the same cause, and reaching for something greater together. So when you're in your own backyard or you have a long drive home through the night and you look up to the stars, I want you to feel that Stellaris is your story too. And that when you think about Stellaris and also your own story, that you know that you are in the lineage of dreamers, explorers, and builders who just refuse to stay small. Because I want you to be not a passive observer, I want you to be an active member of this journey. And being part of that is being part of this journey. So I would highly appreciate if you like, comment, share on this video, share it to someone who's excited about space exploration, show it to someone and say, look at this crazy dude, he tries to pull something off that I don't even think he can make happen. Spread the word about Stellaris, follow us on our Instagram, sign up to our newsletter, the links are all down below, and together we can get this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Because one day in the future when Stellaris stands there on the frontier of space, you will be able to say, I was there when it all began. So these were the plugs. Let's get to the next chapter. What's the next step? So the next steps are already happening. We are in full preparation mode for our upcoming Stellaris Mission 1, our first own signature analog astronaut mission. It's the first on this planet that's fully commercially structured. There's no gatekeeping involved. People from everyday life, from all walks of life, joined the crew so far. So it's all about teamwork, soft skills, leadership, but also science and a lot of testing. So other than that, we have our upcoming Aurora expedition in Finland in February 2026. You can also apply, link is down below. There are 4 seats left, so be quick to sign up. I also will be personally there. We have our own science guide talking about auroras. We will hunt them down. You will learn much about how to read the night sky and take pictures for yourself and have an amazing time, maybe with your loved ones, with your kids, or maybe solo. Other than that, there are a few things in the pipeline, speaking South Pole expedition, speaking stratospheric balloon flights, and also our expedition into the Atacama Desert that soon will be open for pre-registration. So stay in touch. Follow this channel, follow us on Instagram, because that's where you get the latest news. So as you see, we have a wide range of experiences, and step by step we're building something that will truly last. So far we came a long way from seeing the Milky Way for the first time, having some heavy chapters throughout the life, reigniting the spark, finding the meaning and true purpose of life again, and just diving into starting a company without billions in the backgrounds, without investors, without co-founders, without being from the sector. So since starting Stellaris at the beginning of this year, we've come also a long way, and I can't wait for this next year to start. I'm already smiling thinking about it, and it will be something truly unique. And our crew also for the first mission next year will be spread across the globe, so soon you won't be able to immerse yourself in the space sector without getting in touch with Stellaris. So what I personally see for next year is, this year we laid the groundwork. Next year we're gonna build the launch pad and have the first test flights, and then I'm just excited about the future. Doing something on a daily basis, however stressful it may seem, that truly speaks to you on a deep and meaningful level that maybe not everyone or anyone else can understand, is something that's so fulfilling. And yes, it's also fulfilling even if the camera just went out, and I have to be quick because there are only 3% of charge left. So Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, share. It truly helps out such a young channel as mine to grow. And as I said, I want it to be by 100 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be my dream outcome. So forward this video, cross-post it on other platforms. You can also write me in the comments what you want to see more of, as this is an upcoming playlist. So let me hear your thoughts. Thank you for being part of this, and I'm sure we can build something great together. See you in the next video. Take care.